Fantasy Farmstead, Kuya Tio's Guide to a Healthy and Happy Homestead. Prologue. Captain Han. Kill them. All of them. King Hinaba said coldly. Lo Bao didn't immediately move. A few of his men stepped forward, and then there was an explosion of movement. The assassin that the Ronin had brought in shifted in form, which allowed the man to escape his bindings. A shrine maiden, who had come in alongside the Ronin, produced several knives and started throwing. The Ronin themselves seemed just as surprised as the king, but lacked the urge to help the monarch that had just told his men to kill them. It all happened so fast, and yet Lo Bao seemed to understand immediately. The assassination of the king's cousin had been a setup, a ploy to get someone hired to take the assassin in and stand before the king himself. It was a clever ploy, though it wouldn't have worked. However, the greatest asset the assassins had was the king himself. His order of killing the Ronin he had hired made said Ronin more likely to help the assassins instead of serving their monarch, drastically giving them the advantage. They would still fail because of King Hinaba's guards. Hold. The word that doomed him left Lo Bao's lips, sealing his fate. His men paused in confusion. One ignored the order and helped his king. He was a good man. Lo Bao would not hold his loyalty against him. That moment in hesitation gave one assassin time to drive a dagger into King Hinaba's gut. But the king himself was a worthy combatant and gave as good as he got. "Bao!" the king hissed, righteous anger in his tone. Lo Bao watched his king, truly frozen in indecision. It was a conflict of loyalties. Lo Bao had pledged his life to king and country. Pledging loyalty had been easier in the past, when King Hinaba was known as Wise King Hinaba, or Good King Hinaba. The man had changed after the death of his wife. Now Lo Bao served Mad King Hinaba. To serve as king, he should sally forth and cut down the Ronin, dooming his country. To serve his country, he should sally forth and cut down his king. As such, Lo Bao did nothing. Whichever side won this fight, he would not be going home tonight. With that single word, he was a dead man. Another two of his men stopped looking at him and joined in on the fray, putting themselves between their king and a truly massive man. One assassin lay dead at King Hinaba's feet. Movement off to the side caught his attention. Prince Hinaba. The younger, spitting image of his father, watched the fight with calm, quiet concentration. He did nothing to help, but his presence alone was helpful. It allowed Lo Bao to give an order that both made sense and wouldn't aid the mad king. "Protect the prince," he bellowed. Prince Kotua Hinaba would make a good king. That decided it. If for some reason the assassins and Ronin failed to kill the mad king, then Lo Bao would do it himself. He was already a dead man. As suddenly as it started, it was over. The king tripped over the lifeless body of an assassin. An axe took him in the throat, blood spraying outward in pulses as his heart beat its last few strokes. "Enough!" shouted the prince. For a moment, fear shot through Lo Bao, the prince's voice so similar to his father's that it seemed the dead king would stand back up. Prince Kotua pushed his guards away, as nearly everyone froze. Both assassins were dead, one of the Ronin clutching the corpses of the shrine maiden in their trembling hands. A palace guard pushed themselves back onto their feet. The prince stepped over his father and reached down. He didn't take his father's crown, nor his sword. Instead, he picked up a small, mundane locket that had fallen to the floor, its chain cut with the king's throat. Prince Kotua stood straight and glared at the room's still living occupants. "It's too bad the gods showed up a full 10 minutes after the king's murder." The Ronin stared at him, realization that he was giving them time to run, dawning just as another voice destroyed the eerie silence. The giant of a man tore his comrade away from the dead shrine maiden as Princess Junko dropped to her father's cooling body, screaming at her brother to kill them. "Palace Guard Tomo, you are to give chase in 9.5 minutes. "Yes, Omo," The man in question adjusted his position so he could watch the mechanical clock that stood at the far corner of the throne room. Prince Kotua stared down at his sobbing half-sister. The 8-year-old girl was the only person her father treated with kindness these days. Only an innocent child could find the death of the king a tragedy. Someone find her mother and get me a chair. I do not wish to touch that, Prince Kotua said, glaring at the throne. Captain Han. Lo Bao bowed his head. Yes, Omo. This was it. He would now answer for his failure. You have failed in your duty to protect your king. There is no redemption in life. Yes, Omo. If you allow it, I will go to the dungeon and perform my final duty. Not the dungeon, the garden, full rights. Thank you for your service to our country. Lo Bao bowed. Thank you, Homo.
Are we just testing new equipment today? Though we're going to record the commentary and then append it to the actual episodes? No, that was for me. If that's what the boss wants. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I already hit the record button. Alright, so let's see where we are. Kuya Tio's guide. Prologue. Alright. Here we go. Rivers notes. Oh, we are not easing into this book, are we? This is not a gentle stroll into farmland and family values. This is a knife through the throne room kind of opening. And I am here for it. The king goes from wise ruler to loose cannon with a death wish in under 5 seconds. And then Lo Bao says, hold. And I screamed. Lo Bao's impossible position. He hesitates. That's it. That's the whole tragedy. It's not even dramatic. It's quiet. Hold, said Lo Bao. And that single word rewrites his entire future. He doesn't pick a side. He tries to protect the prince. And in doing so, he betrays everyone, including himself. This man has grief, duty, and heartbreak bundled into a slow exhale. Prince Kotua's power move. Let's talk about this prince. While everyone else is flailing, he walks in like, yes, my father just died. Yes, I'm in control now. No, I will not be panicking today. He picked up the locket, not the sword, not the crown, the locket, his mother's. That's such a soft, devastating detail. He doesn't need to claim power. He embodies it. 10 minutes late energy. It's a shame you arrived 10 minutes late. Kotua, you sly fox. This man handed the Ronin a survival plan wrapped in plausible deniability. He doesn't forgive them. He just acknowledges reality. The king was mad. The kingdom needed release, and now that release has blood on stone. The garden. Go to the garden, Lo Bao. You will die with honor. I had to put the book down. That line, that mercy, that final gift from a boy who just became a ruler. This isn't punishment, it's closure. It's the end of an era and the start of Yuji's. My emotional timeline. Kill them all. Stomach drop. Hold. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. It's a shame you arrived 10 minutes late. Gasp. Literal gasp. You will die with honor. Face and hands, unwell. My predictions. Yuji is going to feel this legacy before he understands it. The land he inherits isn't just old and neglected. It's heavy. It's soaked in silence of men like Lo Bao. As something tells me that garden, it's not done growing ghosts. Chapter 1 is coming soon, probably featuring an overwhelmed would-be farmer and a long list of emotional baggage hidden in the soil. Bring a shovel and maybe a hug. We're gonna need both. You can find early access bonus stuff on Patreon. You can read the full story on Royal Road, or keep up to date with us on Facebook. All links are down below. And remember, this whole thing runs on coffee.